At approximately 9:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on an otherwise uneventful Wednesday, basketball IQ was pronounced dead at the scene. It was seemingly jumped by a sham god, a random heat check, and a 13-year-old with 3 million TikTok followers. Today, we investigate the prime suspects. And trust me, none of them are innocent.
Oh, man. What's going on in here? Yeah, we're not exactly sure. The detective says he's never seen anything like it. Hey, what's the detective got in his hand on that piece of paper? Yeah, we think it's a threat.
A triple threat.
Recently, I did a video on how influencers were ruining basketball in America, where every online tutorial is about how to be flashy or how to get shifty. In reality, most high-level basketball is just basic fundamentals and strategy. But you don't go viral for talking about a great defensive help rotation. You go viral by cooking cones. For whatever reason, the algorithm loves boosting people that put their head in the lower corner of a video and don't really add too much context. And yeah, I'm not really sure. Is this good content? Am I missing something? You'd think Jordan Poole invented basketball the way that influencers dissect his every hezzy half-spin fadeaway. Meanwhile, Kawhi Leonard's boring fundamentals don't get broken down on TikTok. What is he, a mushroom or something? You get it? He's a real fun guy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
This has become far more obvious in the playoffs, where a lot of the nonchalant and flashy, overcomplicated moves just don't work. Sure, players like Steph Curry or Cade Cunningham are going to get 1 to 2 highlights per game, but for whatever reason, those 2 highlight plays are going to be dissected and overanalyzed and then replicated by inexperienced coaches to be coached to millions of hoopers around the world. The fact that we're in a media environment that favors that type of content really drowns out the actual skills that players need to learn to be effective at the game of basketball. 90% of the game is making shots, being in the right place, and effort. But you definitely wouldn't know that if you spend any time scrolling through social media. Kids know how to do this weird sidestep, run away from the basket, and shoot a fadeaway three-pointer. But ask them to defend a flare screen, completely in shambles. So let's talk about the main causes of overcomplication in basketball. I remember back in the day, before the internet, we always thought,
when people have more access to information, we're all going to be so much smarter and just better off for it.
So that was a f***ing lie.
Nowadays, it's cones on the backboard and footwork pads like you're auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. Micah Lancaster, who is a very solid trainer, is the epitome of overcomplication. My favorite thing about Micah is he likes to call out other coaches for doing nonsense drills. My least favorite thing about Micah is he likes to do nonsense drills. Basketball is one of those sports that can get very complicated very quickly, especially for young players wanting to improve. Like we always say on the channel, the best way to improve is to just do the thing. Want to get better at shooting? Go shoot. Want to get better at dribbling? Go dribble. Want to get better at grabbing a cone out of the air while trying to finish a one-handed hook shot layup thing? You get the picture. To be fair, Micah works with a wide range of players, so some of his drills and techniques will be useful for some, but completely worthless or redundant to others. For players without guidance on how to improve, and for coaches and trainers trying to learn how to teach other people, this is information overload. I promise that knowing the difference between a dig step and a drive step, or a stride step and a sweep step, will likely not be what's holding you back from getting past the defender. And the reason you can't make a left-handed layup isn't because you haven't bought this I'm possible cone thing and you're not doing layups using it with the basketball. It's because you're shit at layups. Now, this isn't throwing shade at Micah Lancaster. As I've said, he's clearly worked with tons of players and genuinely embraces the grind. The problem is it's just the nature of social media. Back in the day when I was just a wee lad, we didn't even have online coaches. Our brains weren't flooded with the renaming of the most basic moves, like the Pinoy step or the loaded step push cross. what the fuck? We weren't being bombarded with the new training programs from the best coaches in the world. All we had were legends like Pete Maravich wearing the shortest shorts known to mankind, or VHS tapes of Gannon Baker, who's grunting extremely loudly while doing basic ball handling drills.
Do it. Get after it. Go hard. Dribble hard. Quick.
The main difference between then and now is basically the messaging. Gannon Baker's entire brand is basically train faster, make mistakes, work harder, and practice more. No fancy or elaborate drills, just grind it out with effort, repetition, and attention to detail. This is the secret. That's it. While the editing techniques and the ease of uploading videos makes it far more entertaining to watch nowadays, the messaging just gets lost in the sauce. Most of you are out there valuing looking good rather than being good. And that's a bar. No cap. Now, unfortunately, I'm also going to have to bring up another creator that I really like, and that's Mr. Coleman Ayers of By Any Means Basketball. While he's one of my favorite creators and puts out some of the best stuff online, not even he's safe from the algorithm's grip. TeachingFlopping? Coleman, my guy. Broke my heart with this one. This might be helpful for a very niche group of players, but if you can't even finish through contact yet, maybe we chill out with the Academy Award-winning flops. This is definitely a niche skill worth teaching to a very niche audience. But for the larger population of basketball players, it's complete nonsense. I'd love to have a conversation so that I could get your perspective, but basically anytime we start teaching a very complicated set of skills that takes a really long time to master and is only effective in very specific circumstances, I think we start to lose a bit of focus on who it is we're actually trying to help. It's like teaching a new driver how to drift before they ever learn how to merge onto the freeway.
Yeah, Rumsfeld!
Slow down there, coach. Let's just get them out of neutral first. And like I said, this isn't just a Coleman problem, it's just the nature of the beast. This type of skill is definitely worth teaching, but I think it requires a much more surgical approach, preferably in one-on-one coaching scenarios. It's heavily going to depend on your play style, your skill level, and the league that you play in. The amount of players I've been watching over the past couple weekends in AAU that spend the majority of their time just trying to sell fouls is absolutely abysmal. Pro tip: if you haven't yet mastered how to consistently get 2 feet in the key or to play through contact, the last thing you need to work on is how to flop. Any skill that involves the input from referees is a skill that you should only work on once you've mastered everything else. If you aren't already averaging 15 to 20 points per game, flopping will likely become a detriment rather than leading you to be more efficient. Guys like LeBron James, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, James Harden, and that one guy, 40-year-old man from the Lakers, LeBron James. The reason these guys get away with so much flopping is because it's only one very small part of their overall game. They've already mastered the fundamentals while also playing in a league that highly values entertainment and high volume scoring. The fact that any player will actually benefit more from embellishing contact rather than playing through it is a habit that is very hard to uncoach at a lower level. Shout out to By Any Means Basketball. I love the content, but I fully disagree with this one. All right, continuing to burn every bridge with every influencer ever. It's awesome. Honestly, the game of basketball is so extremely simple that you can drive yourself insane by overcomplicating it. And you can blame the adults on this one. The parents, the coaches, the online trainers, the YouTubers like me, we all fall victim to trying to find the ultimate high caliber, intense workout that's gonna drive the clicks and get the views and look cool from the sidelines when the parents are watching. But let's be real, how many how to improve your elite handles fast videos is too many? One is too many. A lot of players are going to spend hundreds of hours working on moves that might get them 1 to 2 buckets per game, just because that's what they constantly see on the internet, because that's what we keep putting out there in the old interwebs. But if players just spent that amount of time working on their game rather than scrolling for the next best drill, they'd be far better off. Sure, making tough buckets or fancy no-look passes is extremely fun to do, So when you see a video that promises to teach you the secrets, you absolutely just gotta click on it to find out. But the majority of those moves should just be the cherry on top of a sundae, an ice cream sundae with the whipped cream and the sprinkles and the banana and with a little bit. Basically, if you don't have a solid foundational base and you're not the go-to guy on your team, almost any video that you watch online will be far less beneficial than just going outside and playing more basketball. This is why I'm constantly trying to remind myself not to chase the next viral trend and continue making videos that are particularly specific to the audience that watches this channel. I made a video on how to become an efficient scorer, and then someone asked me to make a video on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They ended up being exactly the same video. Exceptional players do ordinary things exceptionally. Ooh, I like that. Exceptional players do things. Send. Tweet that up. So that's why I posted the video on how to be a better coach. That's why I posted the video on how to get recruited in college. No, these aren't viral and trendy topics, but they do address very real questions that players and coaches ask me all the time. The game is simple, and we should do our best to meet players where they're at, not to constantly chase views and the next viral trend. If you really want to know what YouTubers you should watch to improve as a basketball player, it's none. It's none. No YouTubers you should watch. You should watch us for entertainment and maybe a bit of motivation, but we're like self-help gurus in a sense. Once we give you something that you think helps, you should go out and apply that straight away. You don't need to buy more self-help books. I do my best to toss in some knowledge in the space, but the majority of the advice that I give is the most basic foundational advice possible, because that's the truth. Coaching is such an individual and personal profession, which is why the majority of the actual coaching I do is in person or one-on-one sessions. Trying to teach players hyper-specific moves and ones that are specifically designed for them and are gonna work in all different sort of situations on a mass scale online, it's just not realistic for development over the long term. But I digress. I want to try something a little bit different for once. I'm actually going to highlight some creators that I actually really do enjoy online, and I think they offer some pretty good advice. No negativity for me today. This feels good. All right, starting us off, let's go By Any Means Basketball and I'm Possible Training. So Micah Lancaster and Coleman Ayers. Obviously, I called these guys out in the video, but 95% of the things they post, I pretty much agree with. I have no problem with. Great content creators, go check them out. Jerome Randall of Handle by Randall, professional basketball player. I actually watched him play in Australia quite a bit. Some of the stuff that he teaches, especially if you're a point guard, you're not going to get it anywhere else. Go check him out. Tucker Richardson, Trey Dreschel, Chima Monique. These are three of my favorite guys to watch that are currently playing basketball professionally overseas at the moment. They give awesome insights, and you can kind of see what it's like to be an overseas basketball player. All three of their situations are completely different as well. So yeah, it's really cool. Go check them out. The Film Room, Thinking Basketball, B-Ball Breakdown. A few of the channels that I like to watch just to get some breakdowns and just see what's happening typically in the NBA, but sometimes they venture into college and other leagues. Steve Daggs, a lot of you will probably think his content is very boring, but the reason I like it, it's real basketball. You get some behind the scenes stuff of individual sessions or small group stuff where he's just like talking to the players. Gannon Baker, who I've also mentioned before, he's kind of the OG of the online basketball coaching craze. But yeah, I've always loved his stuff. He's one of the guys that kind of got me into the space of like individual coaching and seeing what was possible. So his stuff's pretty good. Phil Handy, what more needs to be said? He's always got great content and drills out there and insights to the pros especially. Coach Fricky, again, he posts really good stuff about individual moves and gives tons and tons of examples of footwork and breaks them down into detail. So if you are actually looking to improve with moves, you don't need to see trainers teaching it out of context or not showing what it looks like in a real game. He does a great job of showing that. PJF Performance, I think for strength and conditioning for basketball players, his content is really good, and it's where I would point everyone to start their search. C. Mike Dunn, probably your one-stop shop for shooting and all things shooting, basketball related. Trey Ball, another guy who he's going to do a lot of ball handling drills or a lot of I've shot repetition drills. One of the first guys I actually saw taking advantage of kind of the Instagram space and reels maybe 3-4 years ago. But yeah, his stuff is great. Go check him out. And that's just a few of the creators that I like to watch. There's gonna be tons more posted on the website, so go check them out. But yeah, wanted to be positive for once. Whew. Being nice is exhausting. So, while we still don't exactly know who killed Basketball IQ, we've got a long list of suspects, and trust me, they'll all be back out on the streets tomorrow, cooking cones and going viral, while real hoopers are somewhere working on help side defense. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, Kawhi Leonard is a mushroom, a real fun guy. Thank you.